Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back in today's class. Today, we're on the day number 9 of Business Analyst Batch 2. So, yesterday, we kick off this topic, just started not going the depth of requirement analysis and the design. This little biggest one, 6 tasks need to be complete in this topic. So, let me So yesterday when we take a break from the class, we were on the topic that how the BACCM will fit here. So in this phase, the main thing for the BACCM, what is the change mean here? In the requirement analysis phase, what does the change mean here? Change means the transformation of elicitation result into the requirement and the design. Elicitation says that I need a incident management, I need a form, I need a button, I need an email, I need a validation. That is the elicitation. Now when you convert that elicitation into the requirement and able to design that a model that how the flow will work, then that is a change. And what is the need? Need is to analyze. Sorry, the need means analyze the needs to recommend a solution. Means analyze the elicitation problems and recommend a solution. And solution means to recommend that how the solution will meet the needs and the change. That how the form will be look like. If these are the requirements I am taking forward, that how the form will be look like, how the process will be look like, how the flow will be look like. That is what the solution here. So in these 6 steps, first is specify and model the requirements, then verify and validate. So if I come back on this first one, that what is this part is the specify the model. The concept says this one, specify and model the requirements. It means in this particular step, the input is elicitation results any state. Any kind of a requirement is approved, unapproved, confirmed, unconfirmed. Any state of elicitation, and we need to be analyze it, synthesize it, and we have to be reflect that yes, now this is a requirement. So take example like in the elicitation workshop, I got a requirement that my customer need a button on a form. Now in this part, I will analyze it. If I will add a button, how it is going to be impact to my business? Is it going to be change the process for the service desk, or it is going to be change the process for the end users? So we are analyzing it. We are synthesizing it. I said, no, business IT builders. No, let's not create a new button. It will be a customization. It will increase the technical depth. That is your synthesizing. And once you analyze and you say yes, then we go for that how the design will be look like, where this button is fitting into this form, on the top, on the bottom, on the left, on the right, on the middle, where this button will be fitted. It means in this area, I as a business analyst think from the impact perspective as well. Because customers say yes, and sometimes, not sometimes, it's a lot of time what happens that when we go for the workshops, we get a lot of requirements. And when we start writing that requirements into the story format, then a lot of questions come in the picture. Oh, this cannot be done. Oh, this has an impact on this one. Oh, this can uh, be change the process for the end user or the customer, or the training document need to be updated. So these discussions happen in this area. And here the designing part comes. So if you see in this one, requirement analysis and design, that how it will be look like. That is what the main purpose of this particular steps. So when you're doing this specifying model requirement, what you have to be understand. And also when you are doing this particular concept, this particular task, you have to make sure that you use the best practices. That what is best practice with respect to that requirement. Like as I said that button creation is not a big deal, but after creating the button, maintaining that is a big deal. So now you have to be use the best practices that, okay, this is what given by customer. Do I need to be go ahead with the same, or shall I present my view as well on this particular part? And your analysis will result with the business vision and mission as well. That what the business strategy about this particular product. And your analysis, your synthesis is your, what I can say, this thing, refinement will make sure that the business value will be business value will be achieved. Because if you are the BA did not understand the requirement, then it is very tough for the developers to understand that. So if you spend much time here, that will be more good for you. Okay, now when you're defining this, the first part, the first, what I can say, element which is important to be considered. So I'm saying model requirement. The first element is model requirement. What this mean? Means when you are analyzing a requirement, you have to be think from a particular stakeholder perspective. How this requirement is going to fit for an end user, how this requirement is going to fit for a fulfiller, how this requirement is going to fit for an admin, how this requirement is going to fit for a change manager. So you have to be think from a particular perspective, persona perspective as well. And you have to be support and communicate that model understanding to your stakeholders. Now in this model requirement, there's a two mainly what I can say, two or formats we use. Either you use the matrix, or either you use the diagram. Matrix means kind of a 2x2 format, 3x3 format, where the diagram means you create a picture, a dummy picture, might be in the paintbrush, might be in the Visio, just to show, or might be just take a screenshot of the current form and add a button there, just to be show to the users, to the stakeholders, that how it will be look like. Because as I say, when you are getting the requirement, nobody is visualizing it. Requirements are just, okay, I need it, business need is this, I need this, I need this, but how it will be look like. So we can show via diagram as well. Plus, when you're building the model requirement, you have to be think from the people and the role, which I said that who is going to be used, who is going to be have this button, who is going to be have this requirement, what role they are playing. Are they fulfiller? Are they end user? Are they managers? Are they directors? Are they CTO? Are the CIOs? Who is going to be use this particular need? Then you have to be think that why rational is important here. Believe me, in current scenario, this is very much important to be understand. Either you are a developer, either you are a business analyst. You must ask to the question to the business is why you need this. What value it is going to be drive it. And as per my experience, out of 10, 1 or 2 requirements will moved out from the scope because customer says, oh no, I don't need this now. It has been done. We have some alternatives as well. Because you asking for the why. Ask for the capability. That what function, what feature it is going to be helpful. What area of the process it is going to be improve it. You can show them via activity flow. Again, it's like a diagram, but it is like the activity flow that your information is going from this to this to this to this. From this page on this field, on this page to this field, this page to this field, and preview and submit. You can show via activity flow. Once you get your model requirement, then you have to be analyze the requirement. And while you are analyzing it, the first thing you have to be remember, or we have to be remember, means we have to be decompose that requirement in small chunks where you can understand that anything that must change the business need, I need to be implement. Like someone says, Atul, on the change management, I want to be add extra approval. Okay. Doable, yes, doable. But when I was analyzing it, I ask the same thing. Is it something that will change, or that is a change that means that met a business need? My stakeholders say, no, this is my personal view. It is not related to the business need. Then why are you giving it? Because it's your personal view doesn't mean that I should not take or I should take it. But if you justify it that what area of business need it is going to be met, I'm going to be happy to take it. This is a securities flows. Okay, got it. Let's analyze from the security perspective. Then you have to be think it. When you're analyzing, you have to be thinking that is anything missing in this component? I was in a workshop for the change management and I was getting a requirement for the normal change. Okay, they said new, authorize, schedule, implement, review and close. I said, guys, why you're not using the assess phase? Oh, is it something assess phase also is there? I said, yes. Assess means you can put your peers to do the technical review so that at the time of the cap, the changes should not be get rejected. So this is missing component. Another missing component. I can move a change anytime in the implement state. No, that's wrong. A change should be moved to the implement only and only when the plan start date reach. This is a missing component because business did not Business did not tell you about this thing, that they need this or not. But you are the expert. You have to put that missing component in the picture. This is what we are doing, the analyzing of the requirement, analysis of the requirement. Also, sometimes business says that I need these emails as well. Like, again, same example, my customer says, whenever my change move in any state, I want to send an email to these users or these groups. Doable, 100%. Now my question come. Tell me that how many notifications are going from the change till now? Atul, approximately 50. How many notifications you read which come from the system? Oh, come on, I don't read. I have a Outlook rule and it go in my inbox. Now this is the unnecessary component. Because more notification doesn't mean that people are giving a importance to that. People have a rule and it will go in the other folder of the Outlook. This is what is the unnecessary component. Someone says that I want to be implement approvals in the standard changes. Wow. Why? My business need. But it is an unnecessary component because as per the definition, standard changes don't not require any kind of approval. So that is what the unnecessary component which you have to be checked and you have to be remove it. And when you go ahead, please.
So yeah, I had a similar scenario where in an organization they wanted approvals and standard changes. They for that organization they have been they had a business need where there should be a security check before a change was implemented. So like you said, it is not idle if standard changes
Yes.
need approval.
Right.
So how do we let them know that then should we suggest a different change model for
Now,
that?
wait. Now I have a question. When you say they need a security check doesn't mean that is always approval. It can be task as well. You can recommend, let's not add approval, let's add a first task for the security team only. Once they approve, only then we can move the change to the next state.
So okay, so we can
That is
suggest
solution.
new flows in that case.
Now, in the new, you can add a task. When they click on the this in schedule state, then the task should be triggered. Approve it, only then the change should go in the schedule state.
Okay, I understand. So we propose solutions that
This is what we are here, Shamila.
yeah.
We are not here. We are not here just to be kind of a dictation guy
Yeah.
or the translation guy. We are here to be give our own thoughts as well because you are SME.
Yeah.
So you should ask that, okay, security check, 100% agree that yes, you should need a security check. But is it actually required that you need a task? So you need approval. Otherwise, if you need approval, I will say go for the change models. No problem. But in that case, it should not be a standard change. Type should not be standard because standard changes never ever get a this thing approval.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Atul.
Type should be normal. You can define a model that standard security check change model. That's fine. Type normal, put the approvals as much as you want. I have no issues. But if you want, it should be raised by templates only. Then not a standard, not a approval. Then you can go for the task. And also because change is one of my core area. I work a good time in the change management. Okay. The thing is that in the change, it is not just adding approval. It is more in the background. For you might be just adding approval, but in the background, approval cancelled, approval rejected. Then what will happen to the change? The whole life cycle gets changed in the background. So in the background, it is a hell lot of configuration. I'm saying hell lot of configuration because change flows are not easy to be configured to be made, sorry, easy to be changed quickly. So in this area, you have to be analyze this particular part. You can diagram, okay, diagrammatically you can say, okay, new schedule, approval, task 1, task 2, task 3, and close. When you create a diagram, then you understand, hey, why they're getting approval? Because you have to go for the analysis part. You have to go for the roots part, SME part. Your knowledge, your domain knowledge is required here. No. Standard changes. Whenever I read standard changes need approval, first simple answer. Sorry, it is not as per the ITIL or service now out of the box best practice. That's all. Needs are 100%. I'm 100% agree. Business needs are there, but it doesn't mean that you should violate the best practice or the standards. Otherwise, if customers say no, I want, okay, it will be a lot of technical debt for you then. I can build that for the maintenance get ready. So in this phase, you have to be understand this particular part. Then once you get these two things, then you have to be go for the attributes. Attribute means what information you'll be getting. Their attributes like their priority, urgency, stakeholder, skill, timelines. These are the attributes of that elicitation, that requirement. That should be considered here, which we discussed already in the, I guess, second step only. MIS part, we have these discussions that a requirement must have a attributes like urgency, priority, impact, risk, any assumption, any stakeholders kind of things will be there. Then level of abstraction, that how much information I have to be give in that story. More information, also risky. Less information, also risky. So we have to be given information that is by reading that audience, a customer, a stakeholder can understand that, okay, what we are going to be do in this requirement. I want to add approval in the standard change so that I can reduce my risk and I can improve my KPIs so that my business can run very perfectly fine. By this, I can impress my management and it will be helpful for me. Too much. Too much and it's confusing. I can break this requirement into 2 or 3 more sections or 2 or 3 more requirements. So abstraction, level of abstraction says that how much information need to be give in the requirement so that it is easily understandable by the business. And when you are defining, take the modeling notation and the standards. Why? Because when you are doing the diagram, in the diagram, everything has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So like if I say this thing, sorry, not this. This box. What is this? Star. But if I talk about the flow perspective, this is a decision box. So use a standard notations. There's a tool, there's a platform I use. It's called draw.io. I use this for my this thing. Flow diagrams. So these have a standard notation. This means sub process. Sorry, this means internal process. This is sub process. In the incident management, you are calling the major incident management, or in the major incident, you are calling the change management. These are part. then start, stop, this thing. Parallelogram, kind of a activity. We use these things to represent databases, knowledge base, KB articles. We use this for the users. So multiple in this, the point is that because when you are working as a business analyst, it is required that you should know the designing tools and their notations as well. Fancy, the purpose is not to make a fancy things. The purpose is to make a standard things. Modeling tools. This is what we say. Draw.io, Visio.com, Figma. Sorry, Visio.com. I'm saying Visio, Figma. Multiple tools are there. Wireframing, flowcharts. Multiple tools are there which we can use. Requirement architecture. How a requirement, this point is going to be helpful here as well. How the two requirements are interrelated. You got 5 requirements from your customer. Out of 5, if you remove one, are you able to achieve the result? Might be yes, might be no. How you will come to know? Because of architecture. And once you get these, you got a specified model. You got the specified requirements now. Yes, this I need to be do. And in this area, these thing techniques are huge. You can use the business capability maps or the business capability analysis. Again, in this area, mainly we concentrate on the flows, pictures, diagrams, images to show that how this requirement will be look like. So someone says, what you do as a BA? I prepare the high level designs, HLD. Sometimes I prepare the low level design as well. HLD means I open a diagram like this. So requirement is that user is there. He will raise the request. Request will go here. When the request will be submit, there is a decision button. Decision will be done. Decision approve. It will call the incident management sub process. Once it's done, it will call the internal request for internal process for the calling. For that, a customer agent can use databases and then it will be end. This is high level design. Totally high level. If I add the component name, user ID is this. User check the user ID. Is it starting? It is based out in India? Yes. Then step number 1. Those are the low level design, LLDs. So in this, we actually use these techniques to see that how the requirement is getting fitted. But one more thing, it is not required. It is not necessary that for each and every requirement you create these diagrams. No, it's not required that. It depends on what type of requirements are there. If some new changes are coming, bigger changes are coming, then we preferably go for the designing part. Also in this, one more technique which we use called the non-functional requirement analysis. There's a few requirements which will not give you the direct results, direct outputs or direct outcomes. These are the non-functional. By using the flow, my change will be 5% efficiently improved by the 5% now. This is a non-functional requirement which I want to be track when I will go live after that. So few things, few requirements will be coming as a non-functional as well. That you have to understand that what is functional, what is non-functional. Mainly non-functional means which have something on the quality perspective. 5% efficiency increase, reduce or improve productivity will be increased. So those are the non-functional requirements. Also,
is tracking, sorry to interrupt, Pratik.
good.
Is tracking and database creation, will they also be under non-functional?
Tracking in the sense,
For example, where a particular task is waiting at, and they want to track it on a database,
no,
on a dashboard,
that is functional
that is still
because
functional.
you can see the output,
Hmm.
right? You can see the output that okay, how much time approval is taking. You're able to see, but quality means by using that data, if you're able to make some improvements, that is a non-functional come.
Okay. The KPIs, the measure of
KPIs,
KPIs
right,
will
right,
be
right.
non-functional. Okay.
Okay, might be on the basis of that delay in the approval, you can create some KRAs, you can put some objectives in the employee's career goal. So in one of my company where I work, the infrastructure team has a KRA. Nobody is allowed to go maximum. Maximum, I'm saying one one unauthorized change. That is a part of their objective. If anybody by mistake done and change which is unauthorized, it will get a big escalations. The actual ideal point is that nobody should allow for the unauthorized change. Zero. But we mentioned that sometimes it happens by mistake, so one is still allowed. If it is more than one, it will impact your performance, your appraisals as well.
Where do we capture these non-functional requirements, Atul? Will that be part of the story?
Better to be keep in the story,
Okay.
or better to be mentioned in the your sprint objectives.
And is that like on the story? I'm just thinking about the story table, and sorry to drag this out.
Go ahead.
Where the epic is where you would write down or take down all the high level requirements, and then in the story level you'll break it down. So
No,
I'm
epics are not the high level. No.
okay.
Epics are something which is kind of a category. Your requirement will be in the story itself.
Okay.
So there's a multiple stuff which we use in the agile theme. Epic theme is incident management. Epic is approval. And under approval, I have story. That for the change management, I need to be added to approval in the assess phase. Generally, epics and themes are so much confusing.
Yeah.
So what I see in my experience, a company, a customer only use one thing. Either they use epic or they use theme. They don't use the both things together. Because there will be a point when epic and themes will be have a similar value. So use one.
Okay.
And theme should be attached with the product. Like nowadays, I'm working on a theme called the notifications. And epic is incident. Under notification, I have an epic is change. Under notification, I have an epic is problem. Because the main part is I'm working on the notification. In that, I have the multiple subsections. So that is my epics. So you or the Scrum Master need to be decide that how to make epics and the themes for this one. And practically don't put both things together. More confusing. Better keep one.
I agree.
Either use epic, either use theme. Okay.
So yeah, on the story level, I have always captured the functional requirements. So I'm just wondering where I'll be able to.
Non-functional requirement you can mention in your acceptance criteria as well.
Okay, fine.
So when you write a story, how you write that? As a persona, I want this thing so that.
Yeah.
Your so that can be your non-functional requirement. so that the the productivity can be increased by the 5%. Now, how you evaluate that 5%? That is a functional requirement.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Right? So that you can do the linking. Okay. So now this is what we can use here. Other than this, you can use what I can say role and the persona technique as well, that what role is required. So now if I say approval is one requirement, but this requirement can be have a multiple perspective, from the user perspective, end user perspective, from the fulfiller perspective, from the agent perspective, how it will look like. So you can evaluate that particular part. So these are the techniques which we use in this area. Once you get your model specified, now for the verification part. What is the verification? Verification says that the requirement which and the requirement and the design which you have written as per the standard and use for the next purpose. Next purpose means use for the development. As a change manager, I want to be add one approval in the assess state which go to the assignment group managers so that change should be verified from the technical perspective. This is my model. This model going in the next phase called the verification. Now by reading this line, you're able to understand the thing that what I want to be achieve it. This is what is the verification purpose. In the verification, it is said that it should be a high quality specification. And believe me, story writing is not easy. Story writing is an art. Less words, more meaning or accurate meaning is the story writing. It depends that how to write a story. So when I write a story, I try to be add little bit more. Even though I follow the same process as a persona, I want this so that I can do these things. To be explained more, to be benefited my developer more, I put bullet points as well. Check this, add this, type this, flana this, add this, why this. So that my developer can understand that what he need to be do in this exactly. And believe me, sometimes developers work like a horse. Horse in the sense when you see there is a is that is I'm talking about this horse race which happen on the turf. If you notice that a horse always is covered with something on the eyes. What is the purpose behind that? So that during the race, the horse should not lose his concentration, his destination, his goal. Same thing happened here as well. I saw the examples in the requirement. I put the wrong spelling and my developer used the same spelling and build up and made the field name. And same thing we show in the demo and the same point come in the demo as well. Hey, your spelling is wrong. I said, let me check. In the retrospective, we check the story. Whether spelling is wrong. Developer said it's not my fault. I thought it's your fault. I said, how my fault? You are the one who write the story. We follow blindly. So by that day, I came to know one thing. If you write something wrong, developer will do something wrong. That is what the verification come here. Make sure what you're writing is accurate and complete. Otherwise, same thing happen. Wrong spelling, developer will copy. Developer did not say that I write it. He says I copy from the story. Simple. They did not write the error message. They say, Atul, what you written in the story, I just copy paste it. That's all. My work done. If you write ABCD, we copy ABCD. If you write a 1, 2, 3, we copy 1, 2, 3. Because they are the developer, they're not the BA. It's my responsibility to write the good and best things in that particular area. So those things need to be verified. In this, the quality is important. So now if you understand, only one spelling mistake make my story reopen. Again, 2 story point wasted for the rework. देख लो 2 story points. अतुल 2 घंटे की तो बात है. That's no, it's not 2 hours only. It is your KPI that how many stories are reopened. I learned that thing on the day. After that, I started using the some automatic tool for the spelling checks, so that this mistake should not be happen again. So now you have to do this thing, verification. And for the verification, the first thing which is important as an element here. The first thing is that the characteristic of a requirement. Characteristics of a requirement. What this mean? The requirement should be in the nature of atomic. You cannot break more than that. It should be complete. Simple. It should be consistent. From the day one illustration till the go live or till the retired, the requirement should be consistent. Then it should be feasible, which you already check in the SMART, measurable and other things. Then requirement should be unambiguous. Now I give you a classic example for this one. Tell me what is wrong, what is right here. Which spelling is right out of these two?
One is US and
I'm not saying what is right, what is wrong. I know it's a US and UK only.
Yeah.
It depends on who the audience is. Depends on who you're writing it for.
That is a problem again. It is ambiguous. Same thing happen if you write the spelling for the behavior. British use VIOR, US use VIOU or something like this, behavior. I faced this problem. I was writing my thesis and in that I was using a theory, and that theory says that technology based on behavior. Every time when I open my docs, my thesis, it's showing the red color. Then I say, oh my God, that's a problem because the spelling is a British and my language is English. So now it is ambiguous. And I can tell you one more thing. These things also need to be discussed when you go for the illustration. That what will be the language pattern we're going to be used. Same thing happened. Cancelled and cancelled. Because US says single L and British say double L, or might be vice versa. So we discuss with our customers, boss, what language pattern you're going to be using, British or US. And this thing, this spelling create a lot of problem in one of my story. In the sprint demo, people start blaming it. People start fighting it. No, it should be single L. No, it should be double L. Then we have to reach an agreement that as we're implementing this particular module for the UK users, then it should be for the British language standards only. Now it is ambiguous. So make sure your story should not be ambiguous. Then testable. You should able to test it. Story without testing is not a good thing. But there are cases where the stories cannot be tested, at least in the lower environments. There are some scheduled jobs, there are some reports which you cannot get the data in the lower instances. Then you say, OK, let's move to the production. We'll test it there only. So when you get these things in the element, in the characteristics, then you have to verify. Then you have to verify. Verify means number one, on the basis of these characteristics, make sure your story should be compliant with the standards, with the organization structures. You have to make sure that when you are writing these stories and you're following these characteristics, the standard notation should be used. Now, if I say this thing, these two are the two different things. This standard means I'm talking about the kids in which standard do you study? You study. This standard means I'm talking about the ITL standards. Same thing, same words, different notations. So make sure when you're verifying it, there should be standard should be used. The notation should be standardized. Like someone says, like people use ServiceNow as snow. No. If you write snow, it means you're referring to some other tool. I work with a company where in a single slide, I have more than 20 acronyms. And then people says, welcome, you need to understand all these acronyms as well. So those are the standards. Make sure you use a standard. So this is one of the examples for the standard. This sub-processes, decision, knowledge bases, start and stop conditions. These are my standards. Once you've done the standard part, once you've done the verification part, then you go for the checklist. Checklist means that all the parameters, grammatically check, yes. Technically check, yes. Feasibility test check, yes. Funding perspective check, yes. Stakeholder check, yes. Then I can say yes, my requirements are fully verified. And then I reach on this output. And in this area, this is the only area where everybody is your stakeholder. Everybody is your stakeholder. Or I can say all the stakeholders should be involved here. Technical, strategical, tactical, funding, CTOs, CIOs, stakeholders, operation guy, service manager, everybody is your stakeholder here. Because once this has been done, tick mark done, then there's a no revert. Revert means you have to go for the change. Sorry, that is change process only. Change process which we discuss. Requirement changes. That process need to be followed. Once you verify, then you can validate. दोनों में difference है. There's a testing model we use, V and V model. V model we use, validate and verify and validate. So it's look like this V shape, like this. That model is like this, V model, verify and validate. This is verify, this is validate. So in this, we are doing the validation. Validation of what? Validation that all the requirement which I verified is aligned with the business need now. No gaps. That is the reason that after elicitation, it takes 2 weeks for me to reach up to this level. Because in this, I have to be right each and everything. I have to be verify each and everything. And then I have to be validated with my stakeholders. Is it aligning? Yes. With the business need, business purpose, take it in the forward. And this is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time activity. For every requirement, you have to verify, you have to validate. Next sprint starting, verify, validate. Sprint over, PI planning starting, verify, validate. So this is an ongoing process. And in this, and also validate will confirm the future state as well. Validate is a step which says now Sharmila as a stakeholder, Atul as a business analyst, and Angela as a sponsor are on the same page that once we implement this, what output we are going to be getting. We all are mature, we all are married, we all have kids. When you talk to your kids and say, okay, can you go in that room and bring that toy which is in the yellow color? Kid go that room, bring a toy and show to you. And you say, yes, it is a yellow color. What you are doing? You are validating it. We as a parents, kid go in the other room and from that room he will speak loudly. Mom, which side? You said upper drawer, second shelf. What is this? Verifying the location. So that there is no ambiguity. When we ask someone, hey, can you give me the this location directions? Go straight 10 meters, take a left, circle, then take a right. When you repeat these words, you are verifying it. And once you reach, and once your verification done, you validate it. Oh, there's a no deadlock. So there's a no end of the road. No, it's all good. You are validating that part. That if you follow this path, you will reach to the destination. And when you do the validation, important part in this, the first element which is important is your assumptions. Very much important. I assume the people who are going to be use the change management process, they have the basic knowledge of change process from the ideal perspective. As a business analyst, assumptions are good only or until you are explicitly discussing with the stakeholders. In your heart, if you assume, it's wrong. You have to be confirm it. That is what the first. Second, assumptions done. The second point, measure the evaluation criteria. It means that you know that what is the expected benefit of this particular requirement in the future state. But you need to verify that how you're going to be evaluate that. Like you say, Sharmila says, Atul, non-functional requirement. How you're going to be evaluate that? For that, I have to build the KPIs. This is what the validation part says. The kid bring the yellow color toy. How are you validating that? because you also have a eyes and you have a color senses, and by that color senses you can see that yes, this is a yellow color. You are validating that particular part. And make sure what you are evaluating should be in the scope only. You're discussing about the change and the requirement is talking about the release. No, 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 no. This is not the same which we're looking for. We're just looking for the change only. So make sure you should validate your solution with the scope, or there should be alignment in the scope, in the solution scope, along with your business need, assumptions and criteria. And to validate this part, the important thing is future state and the potential value. Once you validate, everything is tick box now. Means your story is in the ready state now. Okay to go for the pointer level. Story points, work start. Once you validate, then you have to define the architecture. Remember that we have this step here. Requirement architecture. Why? Because this is the step which help you to understand that how the two requirements are interrelated with each other. This is what is the define the requirement architecture. I guess not yesterday, a day before yesterday, we have a topic. This requirement is derived or depend. That is what the concept come here in the picture. This can be says that all the requirements have its own individual model, but how the model are interrelated with each other. This is what the architecture. By making a change in the change management process, how it is going to be impact my incident management process as well. Possible it can be a case. So these things we have to be defined, we have to be understand here. And in this main is your requirement state, your information management approach. Remember, we use a word called the reuse requirements. This is what is come in the picture now. When you're defining this, you have to be understand regulated legal informations, methodology and framework, agile, waterfall, what model you are going to be use it. And when you're defining the requirement architecture, in this, the important part, which is I'm again repeating that how the two models, how the two boxes, how the two flows, how the two requirements are linked with each other. Linking is important here. I don't want that I told to my kid go in that room and bring the yellow color toy. And doing that part, he step up on the shelf and he fall down. For one requirement, I'm impacting the other requirement now. This is what we have to be check it here. So to do this validation part, number one, you have to be see the requirement. Sorry. To define the architecture, you have to be see the requirement from the different view perspective. Business says that I need a pop-up. Whenever age is more than 18 years, I need a pop-up. Okay, that's fine. But will this requirement give a good user experience? I am filling a form for the 6 people for a train booking. And everybody is adult. I have to be 6 times click on, sorry, I have to 6 times enter extra because of this pop-up. So make sure whenever you are be writing a story, when you'll be getting a requirement, you see that requirement, that how this requirement will be represented with the different representations format, different views, different personas. Okay, like example that how this will be fitting in the business process model, how this requirement is fitting in the data model. Do I need to be changing anything in the data level as well? Adding a new field in the location table. Is it only going to be changed at the data level, or it is going to be changed at the user level as well? Because adding a new field, it means you need the data from the users as well. How to get the data? And how this is going to be impact from audit and security perspective as well. So we have to be see that particular part of the different views perspective. So being a business analyst doesn't only mean that you are going to be discuss about the business perspective. You have to be discuss about the backend perspective as well. I want a user should enter his phone number, only then he should able to log in. Okay. I can get a new field. But is that field is the GDPR compliance? Because you're asking to be enter a phone number. Phone number is a personal information. Personal information user will not share. So how it's going to be impact on that particular part? This is what you have to think from the different views perspective. Then whenever you're defining this kind of a requirements, try to be use a standard templates always. Template architecture. So that whenever you're getting any kind of a requirement, make sure you get all the information about a requirement which is applicable for all the things. Means again from the different view perspective, I can say. Adding a new flow. I need 4 views. Data view, process view, flow view. Adding a new field. I need a five perspective. Business model perspective, data model perspective, security perspective. So that whenever any new requirement come in these kind of domains, you should have all the parameters handy with you to be evaluate that. And then make sure it should be complete. The requirement completion is key here. Half cook, missing information, less detail, abbreviations are not good part here. So make sure you have a complete information about a requirement. Either it's a templates, it's architecture, that how, where, when, who requested all these things. And which we already discussed, that a story must be a relate and verify the requirement relationship, which we follow the same things here. Not ambiguous, not incomplete, should be correct, should be consistent, and should be necessary. Putting a lot of information will not work if it is not necessary. If it is necessary, put that information. Because here you are defining the architecture. You're not validating anything. You're defining it. That tomorrow, if someone says, I want to go for the CSM module, how the CSM module is going to be impact my ITSM or my GRC or my SecOps or my HRSD. To evaluate that, we have architecture here. And then we got our requirement architecture. And to do this particular part, you have a architecture management software. Mainly this is what it says, enterprise analysis. The first step, you have to understand that how the business run, how the business model run, that guidelines are required here. Legal and regulatory information required as per the like a GDPR, SOX, ISO. Those are what is requirement, is the standards, and what methodology you're going to be use it. Clear?
Thanks, Atul. I had asked a question on the chat.
Let me
Maybe
check.
you can respond later.
What type of story writing is a grid? Can you please show?
No, the type where you said you can use bullet points as well. Like right now we use given that I'm a certain person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take example. Customer says, very basic example, we'll take it. Customer says, I want a new field on the incident management, and that field is a alternative contact number. Okay. That field does not exist at point of time in the user table. So I want it to be added on the incident. So whenever any caller call, agent should get it. So the simple requirement is that as the incident manager, I want a new field name alternate contacts so that an agent can capture the alternate contact number from the caller. That is what the standard. Now in the bullet points, because the first question will be developer says, Atul, what will be the type of this particular field? Remember, developer is like a horse. The eyes are covered. So in the bullet points, I will mention field name, alternate contact, field type, string, field length, 40, field nature, read only or mandatory, field auto populated, no. So these are the bullet points which I mentioned.
Wouldn't these be in the acceptance criteria, Atul?
No.
Okay.
Acceptance criteria means I will mark the story as a complete. So in the acceptance criteria, again, there are two things, when and then. I will mark the story as a complete when a caller is able to add the alternative contact number in the alternative contact field. Then it will be marked as a closed or the complete. Because agent could, it is not matter for agent that it is a string or it is a numeric. Agent purpose is there to just capture the information. But how to build, that is matter for the my developer. So that is the requirement. That what type of field, what value should be saved, what length should be, what nature it should be. So I am again talking about the single requirement. I did not add multiple requirements, but I little bit decompose it little bit more so that it is easy for my developer to be understand. Got the point? Or still doubt?
Yeah, no, got it, Atul. Only because in the Agile module in ServiceNow, we have the acceptance criteria as the longer. That's where we've been capturing all these.
Acceptance criteria mainly is about the conditions. Acceptance criteria is the validation of your requirements. Now you are a business analyst or you are a business, okay, you're a business person. Are you going to be checking the table that is this field is the string or the numeric? Definitely no. What you will do, you will say, Atul, the requirement is that I should able to enter the contact number. Are you able to add the contact number in the form? Yes. This is what is your acceptance criteria. To fulfill that acceptance criteria, I told my developer, please boss, in the backend, make it as a string, validation till 11 or 10 numbers only. If anybody writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, convert into the phone number format to give a good user experience. It's about when and the conditions matter in the acceptance criteria. Because business never go in the backend to be check what field, what type is this. Business को तो पता भी नहीं है. ठीक है?
Got it, Atul. Thank you.
Okay, good. चलिए, let's take a break now. Let me stop the recording.